Steve Harvey was allegedly blackmailed by Diddy for 25 years. And now, the secret might finally explode. Behind the clean image, behind the suits, sermons, and game shows, a silent power struggle has been playing out between two of the most recognizable men in America. New allegations, freak-off tapes, and federal raids are shaking everything loose. Was Steve a victim, or part of the silence? Steve Harvey and Sean Diddy. Combs were never supposed to be in the same story. One built a brand on faith, family, and moral authority. The other? Fame, fortune, and unchecked excess. Steve was America's TV dad. Diddy was a man behind the wildest parties in music history. And yet, for 25 years, they kept showing up in each other's lives. Early on, it seemed innocent. Award shows, industry events, handshakes. But then came the trips, the dinners. The photo of Diddy vacationing in Italy with Steve Harvey's entire family, including his stepdaughter Lori. And that's when people started asking real questions. Because this wasn't just about fame. Something about the way Steve moved, what he said, what he didn't say, began to feel off. For a man who speaks his mind about everything, his silence around Diddy was deafening, especially now, with Diddy facing federal charges for sex trafficking, blackmail, and alleged secret tapes from drug-fueled freak-off parties. Suddenly, every connection is under a microscope. And Steve Harvey? He's right in the middle of it. The whispers are growing that their relationship started at a party in 90s, and what happened that night gave Diddy leverage for decades. No evidence, no charges, but too many coincidences to ignore. And if even one of these rumors is true, Steve Harvey's entire legacy might have been built on silence. New York City, a Diddy party like no other. No cameras, no press, just power, influence, and total secrecy. According to rumors gaining traction online, this is where it all started. Steve Harvey, still climbing the entertainment ladder, was allegedly invited to one of Diddy's infamous private events. What happened next depends on who you ask. But the version burning through TikTok and Reddit says something went down, something intimate, scandalous, maybe even recorded, and Diddy saw it, or filmed it. From that night on, Steve's career skyrocketed, and his image changed. Gone was the edgy comic. In came the buttoned-up preacher, the family man, the brand-safe TV icon. Meanwhile, Diddy kept rising too, but his reputation was far messier. Yet no matter what controversy surrounded Diddy, Steve never publicly distanced himself. He stayed close, quiet, controlled. In 2017, Steve even tweeted support for Diddy, calling him visionary. But when federal agents raided Diddy's homes in 2025, that tweet vanished, deleted without a word. Now, people are looking back at that night in 1998 like a puzzle piece. Did Diddy get something on Steve? Did Steve make a mistake he's been running from ever since? There's no proof, just silence. But sometimes silence is the loudest thing of all. From 1998 onward, Steve Harvey's rise was relentless. TV shows, books, endorsement deals, a media empire. But one name kept popping up in the background, Sean Diddy Combs. And now, people are asking why. They weren't best friends. They didn't work in the same industry. But they kept crossing paths, private parties, high-end galas, family vacations. There's even footage of them laughing together in Capri, while Diddy was rumored to be dating Steve's stepdaughter, Lori Harvey. Through it all, Steve remained silent. Not once did he challenge Diddy publicly. Not even when Diddy's controversies hit the front page. That's strange, especially for a man known for calling out Hollywood hypocrisy. And then the theory hit. What if Steve couldn't say anything? Online sleuths pieced together timelines and behaviors. Every praise-filled quote, every deleted post, every public dodge now looks different. Like Steve was keeping someone happy, or scared of what might come out. The term being used is leverage. Rumors say Diddy's empire wasn't built on talent alone. It was built on knowing people's secrets and keeping receipts. If Steve was ever recorded or witnessed doing something at one of Diddy's infamous parties, that footage could be enough to destroy him. Maybe it was never blackmail with threats. Maybe it was just understood. Stay close, stay quiet. But now that the FBI is raiding Diddy's homes and flipping witnesses, That leverage, it might be slipping. And if it does, Steve's silence may finally get its own spotlight. By 2019, everything changed. Photos emerged of Diddy on vacation in Italy with Lori Harvey, Steve's stepdaughter. She was just 22. He was 49. But the real shock? Steve Harvey was there too. The public couldn't make sense of it. The same Steve Harvey who preached old-school values was now laughing it up while his daughter vacationed with one of the most controversial men in the industry. People had questions. Steve had no answers. He didn't confirm or deny the relationship. He didn't offer guidance or disapproval. He just vanished from the conversation. To many, that silence screamed louder than words. Online theorists saw something more sinister, a twisted show of dominance. Diddy wasn't just dating Lori. He was reminding Steve who held the power. If the blackmail rumors were true, this was Diddy flaunting it. Why else would a father, known for being protective, tolerate this? Was Steve complicit or just trapped? As the images of them shopping, dining, and smiling spread across social media, fans felt betrayed. This wasn't just odd. It was disturbing. Lori later denied the relationship, but by then it was too late. The triangle, Steve, Lori, Diddy, had already gone viral. And now, looking back through the lens of federal investigations, it no longer looks like a weird celebrity entanglement. It looks like a warning shot, a public message. I control this family. And Steve's refusal to speak? It might not have been loyalty. It might have been fear. Then came the moment no one expected, the federal raids. In early 2025, agents stormed Diddy's homes, guns drawn, evidence trucks waiting. Within hours, reports confirmed the investigation. Sex trafficking, racketeering, and blackmail. But one detail caught everyone's attention. The freak-off tapes. For years, insiders whispered about Diddy's secret parties, drug-fueled nights with celebrities, models, and hidden cameras. But now, former bodyguards and assistants were testifying under oath. The tapes were real, and some of them allegedly showed famous names doing things they never wanted seen. The question exploded online. Was Steve Harvey caught on one of those tapes? So far, no confirmation. No official names. But rumors began circulating fast. YouTube channels and TikTok videos claimed Steve fled the country, canceled appearances, and looked visibly shaken in recent broadcasts. And then came his words. In a cryptic podcast episode, Steve said, "Sometimes you can't speak your truth until it's safe, but God will bring everything in the dark into the light." To some, it was generic spiritual talk. To others, it was a confession in disguise. People began connecting dots. Why had Steve always avoided criticizing Diddy? Why did he delete supportive tweets the moment raids began? Why the sudden disappearances? The theory: Steve wasn't hiding from a scandal. He was waiting for the bomb to drop. Because if even one of those freak-off tapes includes Steve's name or even his face, it's not just his career on the line. It's his legacy. And once a tape leaks, there's no taking it back. For years, Steve Harvey was unshakable. He stood on stages in churches and in boardrooms like a man with nothing to hide. He told others how to live with discipline and purpose. But now, with Diddy's empire crumbling, Steve's own foundation is starting to crack. It began subtly: missed events, canceled speaking engagements, and a visible shift in demeanor. Then, during a podcast, Steve delivered an uncharacteristically emotional moment. No audience, no jokes, just this: "Sometimes you can't speak your truth because it ain't safe yet, but God don't miss nothing." It hit differently. For a man known for loud certainty, it sounded like quiet fear. Online, the clip went viral. Commentators claimed it was a veiled confession. Others suggested Steve was bracing for a fallout only he could see coming. Within days, conspiracy threads were spinning. Steve knew the walls were closing in. He was trying to say something, without saying it. Then came the news that federal investigators were interviewing people connected to Diddy's personal circle. Steve's name wasn't mentioned, but it didn't have to be. The timing, the tension, the sudden silence, it all felt like a storm brewing behind the scenes. And the man who always had the answer? He wasn't talking anymore. Was it guilt? Fear? or a final attempt to distance himself before the truth comes out. Whatever it is, something's shifted. The mask is slipping, and the Steve Harvey we thought we knew may not be the one facing us now. The question isn't if fallout is coming, it's how bad it will be. As Diddy's legal nightmare deepens, names are expected to surface, real names. Witnesses are testifying. Tapes may be unsealed, and investigators are reportedly targeting everyone with long-term ties to Diddy's inner circle. Steve Harvey is high on that list. He's not been charged, not officially named, but his history with Diddy, stretching back decades, makes him impossible to ignore. And if even a fraction of the blackmail theories are true, Steve could be pulled into storm not as a bystander, but as a silent enabler. Worse, a witness with something to hide. What happens to the legacy of a man who preached morality while possibly protecting someone accused of the worst? That's the real tragedy. Steve had the trust of millions, people who turned to him for guidance, truth, and strength. But now, as this scandal unravels, his silence doesn't look like strength anymore. It looks like survival. If a freak-off tape surfaces with Steve's name, if a cooperating witness mentions his involvement, if even one connection gets verified by federal evidence, then this story won't just end careers. It'll end entire identities. For now, Steve is still silent. But silence in the face of evil is its own kind of confession. Because sometimes it's not about what you did. It's about what you let happen. And Steve Harvey may be running out of time to explain the difference.